Hi again folks, how's all doing? This is a Hornby Princess Royal Class 8P Princess Elizabeth that was sent to me by Bob. He told me he bought this second hand and was told that the connection between the locomotive and the tender was broken, but the locomotive ran fine otherwise. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. Well, it seems to run absolutely fine, but you can maybe see the union link in the left valve key there is flipped. So kind of looks like there's maybe been some jiggery faffery going on. Let's get this into the shed and we'll give it a look over. Right, okay, we'll get a look at this Princess Elizabeth. It's getting a bit near beer o'clock though, so I'm probably not going to get much done to this today, but we'll see what needs done to it, and then we shall do the things that need done tomorrow. So this is an R283462 Princess Royal Class 8P Princess Elizabeth. It was a limited production, the Pete Waterman collection from Hornby. Yeah, kind of typical of Hornby models from this era. It's in a wee bit of a sorry state. The body is completely loose. Somebody's had a go at fixing the fixing screw in there with we'll see what we can do about that. The wires are broken to the connection on the tender. I mean, it's locomotive driven and it'll be picking up from the tender and the locomotive, so that's why it runs fine with those connections broken, but yeah, it'd be better to get them connected back up. This valve gear here, let's just sort it. If we lift that up, so I'm going to let us just get that right. There we go. That's that sorted. All right, okay, hang on. Let's get that out the road. Get the endoscope in. You can maybe see the state of the pickups there. That's not touching the wheel where it should do, but it is touching the wheel where it shouldn't, on the spokes. So yeah, somebody's been in here having a good jiggery faff and got the pickups mangled up. Not an uncommon thing. I think the bracket for the front bogie is a little bit bent. So that'll solder onto there, and that'll solder onto the underside there. So that's easy enough fixed. We'll maybe need to give ourselves a little bit more play in the wires. Let's have a wee look in the gearbox. Take that off. That tape is going to be useless. I think this has originally had a speedometer fitted, I think, but it's long since gone. That's no bad thing. Just turning the gears just to see if we've got any split, but I don't think so. I think when we've got this open, we'll give it a spot of oil and a little bit of fresh grease. Pop that back on. Right, okay. Pickups. It's one of the most common problems with Hornby models that I see is these pickups getting mangled and people take them out and put them back. Right, I want to get these pickups out. Let's get this front bogie off as well. This is one of these underframes with annoying little clips at the back. So the clip is there, and it's right behind the wheel, but you can't take the wheels out until you get the underframe off. It's a really stupid design. Just a question of getting something to lever that clip. That's it. And this will be held in with the wires. So we've got loads of wire here, but the one wire we want to be a bit longer, this one that feeds down, connects to the pickup, is just too short. So normally these pickups just pop out, but they've been well fixed. It's loose at the front there, but this at the back is really tight. If I can't get these pickups out, I need to remove this entirely, and to do that I'm either going to desolder these wires at the socket or cut them. There's a lot of solder on the underside of that socket. I've never come across this before, where the pickups are really stuck to this plate. Normally they come off dead easy, but these are really well stuck on, which isn't a bad thing. It keeps them in place, but you know, normally I'd be able to lift the pickup out and then I could straighten it all up and put it all back together and it'd be fine. But not with this. It's not having any of it. I think the safest thing to do is cut these wires, and then I can take this out and I'll splice them back. I really don't want to desolder the socket. There's an awful lot of solder on there. I think it would be easier just to splice the wires back on, and then I can actually put a bit extra wire in for the black wire. So to make it easier the next time this is pulled out. There's just not enough wire there to work on this properly. So we'll cut it and we'll splice it all back together. Oh, come on. What's holding this thing in? Right, hang on. Let's take this apart a bit more. This is becoming a slightly bigger operation than I thought it was going to. And I'm mindful of the clock here. Right. There we go. It just got jammed in underneath that. So now I've got this out, I can try and sort these pickups out. You can see the state they're in. And Bob was saying he did have some running issues with this that he put down to the bad connection between the locomotive and the tender. But I think it's more likely being the state of these pickups, because this should run fine just picking up from the locomotive on its own. So that wants to come out a little bit more than it does. I really wish I could get the pickups off this, because I can't get a good counter bend on this to straighten it all up. There, got it off. Right. I can bend this back into shape now. Yeah, that'll be better. So the axles are absolutely fine. They don't need anything doing to them. There's oil in there that's nice and clean, looks fresh, no gunk. That's all absolutely fine. So we'll thread these wires back through. That. Well, they're a lot better than they were. they're all making contact with the wheels, and I don't think anything's going to cause any problems with the spokes. That black wire is just way too short. It really is. I'm actually going to have to put a wee bit extra wire in. This will be a bit too delicate for the lighter. So just use the back of the soldering iron. I should have spliced the wire on before fitting the pickup plate back in. Right, got the heat shrink over the joint. Right, okay, that's the black wire spliced together. We'll do the red wire now. But it's beer o'clock. We'll come back to this tomorrow. Okay, so this is the next day. Yesterday I had to sort out the pickups, and to do that I had to cut these wires because they were too short. So I've spliced them back together, and now I'm just going to solder these broken wires onto the contacts on the drawbar. Okay, we're soldered on. Right, okay, I want to make sure I've got these wires connected to the right contacts. So connect up the tender, and this should run. There you go. Right, all I've got to do now is find a way to fix this body on, because this is very broken. I'll just show you with the endoscope. So you can see the fixing there in the body for the screw, and it's just all broken. So I'll fill that up with metal epoxy, let it harden, and possibly this screw down in there would maybe work. So I'll just mix up some metal epoxy, quite a generous amount. This set's like a hard plastic almost, so it's quite good for this kind of thing. So a big dollop of it in there. It's not going to look very pretty, but it'll do the job. Right, that should do it. So I'll put a big blob of epoxy in there, we'll let that set, and then we'll get the chassis into position, we'll drill down, and the screw should tap into the wee hole in the epoxy and hold the body onto the chassis. Time to get some lunch. So this is actually about 3 days later. I've just been so busy with other stuff recently, I haven't been able to spend any time doing repairs, but I've got an hour or two now, so I think I can get this wrapped up. So my epoxy should be certainly be nice and hard now. Let's get this popped back in, albeit temporarily, and we'll drill into the epoxy. So we'll drill a wee hole. Get this square on as I can. Right, okay, that's a wee pilot hole in. Okay, dokie, so look at this front bogie. Yeah, it's got itself into a wee bit of a funny shape. Right, there we go. So, pickups are all touching the wheels. The contacts are connected up. The chassis is fixed to the body, or the body is fixed to the chassis. So I think we're kind of done. There we go. Alright, let's go and pull it out of the shed. Okay then, let's bring her out. So there we go, it seems to be running fine, no issues at all. I definitely think the pickups on the locomotive were the problem really, not the broken connections on the drawbar. With models of this configuration, the tender pickups are a nice bonus, but they aren't essential. The pickups and all 6 drive wheels on the locomotive should be perfectly sufficient. But if they're a bit bent and mangled and aren't all doing what they should be doing, as they were in this case, then losing the drawbar connection to the tender will likely cause some problems now and again. Righto, I shall get this packed up and sent back to Bob. Catch us later, folks.